Assalamu alaikum girls. Today we are going to do the role of accessory gland in the digestive system. So the name of the glands which are associated with small intestine are liver, gallbladder and pancreas. So we are going to start with the liver. This is the largest, you can say that internal organ which is having which is an endocrine gland. So liver consists of two major lobes, left and right, and two minor lobes. A porta or gate is on the inferior surface of the liver where different blood vessels, ducts and nerves they are going to enter and exit the liver. Hepatic ducts, left and right, they are going to transport the bile out of the liver. The right and the left hepatic ducts unite to make a single common hepatic duct, which is again going to join the cystic duct. Cystic duct is the duct coming from the gallbladder. When cystic duct and common hepatic duct they are going to join, they are going to make the common bile duct. Common bile duct is responsible to empty the excretion of the liver into the first part of small intestine, which is known as duodenum. So duodenum is the major site where the excretion of liver they are going to be poured. Now I am going to show you the diagram to show all the structure of the liver is porta and the ducts. Okay, so please keep just check this figure. Here you are going to find the liver. See, it's having two major lobes, two parts, right, left and right. So here you can see this green color two ducts. Okay, one duct is coming from the right side, another is coming from the left side. These are known as hepatic duct. So as they are going to descend down, they are going to join to make the common hepatic duct. And this is the duct of the gallbladder. Here see, this is the yellow color sac. This is the gallbladder. So cystic duct and the hepatic duct they are going to join and they are going to make common hepatic duct. They are going to make the common bile duct. Okay, this is the common bile duct after the union of cystic duct and common hepatic ducts. So common bile duct is responsible to pour the bile into the duodenum. Duodenum is the initial part of the small intestine. And see, this is a inferior of the liver, right? There, see, you can see that different blood vessels, different kind of ducts and the nerves they are going to enter into the liver, right? So see, along with the left and right hepatic duct, you can also find that here are blood vessels, right? Arteries and veins they are also going to enter into the liver from the same porta or gate. Okay, now we are going back and we are going to see the secretory role and the composition of bile, right? Okay, composition of bile. Bile is the secretion of the liver. It is going to store in the gallbladder for some time, and bile is having no digestive enzyme. It is having water, it is having bile salt, it is having sodium glycofolate, sodium taurofolate, bile pigments, bilirubins, cholesterol, lecithin, which is a phospholipid. It is having mucus, cells and cell debris. See, all these things they are present in the bile. Now we have to see the role of the bile. Okay, bile salts they are going to reduce the surface tension of the fat globule first. You know that the major function of the bile is to emulsify the fat. So big fat molecules they have been converted into small globules, okay, by the help of salts present in the bile. Okay. So these bile salts they are first going to reduce the surface tension of the fat globules. They are going to emulsify them into droplets and thus they are increasing their total surface area so that enzyme of fat they can act on them. So this whole process is called emulsification. So these small droplets are then acted upon by the enzyme lipase. Bilirubins. These are the pigmented compounds which are going to be formed as a result of breakdown of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein. This is a pigmented or color protein which is present on the RBCs, red blood cells. In the intestine, bacteria are going to convert the bilirubin into pigments that give the feces its characteristic brown color. So color of the feces which is brown, this is due to the pigments of the bilirubins. So some of the bilirubin pigments, they are also going to be absorbed by the small intestine. They are going to be modified in the kidneys and they are going to be excreted in the urine, and they are also going to impart yellow color to the urine. Bile salts help in the absorption of fatty acid from the intestinal tract. Okay, here in the box you are going to find very important information about the bacteria which are going to reside in the large intestine. So they are performing three functions. So they are present in the colon part of the large intestine, and they are going to synthesize number one. Okay, they are going to synthesize vitamin K, which is passively absorbed in the colon. Second function of these bacteria is the breakdown of cellulose to glucose. If any cellulose part component is there in our food, that is going to be broken down into glucose with the help of bacteria. Third is gases called flatus. They are also going to be produced by the bacterial action in the colon. Next we are going to read about the secretion of bile is related to secretin hormone. Secretin hormone is the hormone of the cells of the small intestine. The wall of small intestine is going to release a hormone secretin, and secretin hormone is going to control the amount of bile. Okay, how much bile is required in the small intestine for the digestion of fat. Okay, fatty acids in the lumen of duodenum, they are going to stimulate the endocrine cells to release first a hormone that is known as cholecystokinin, CCK. CCK stimulates the contraction in the smooth muscles of the gallbladder. CCK also causes the relaxation of the hepatopancreatic sphincter. See, this is the circular ring muscle present in the hepatopancreatic, right? Hepto means liver and pancreatic means related to the pancreas. So simply you can say that the duct which is going to join the duct of the liver and pancreas, that is having a circular ring muscle which is going to control the secretion of the liver and pancreas. So CCK is going to relax the circular muscle in the sphincter, and they are going to allow the bile to release into the duodenum. So chyme, acidic chyme, which has come from the stomach, it is also going to stimulate the other endocrine cells of the small intestine to secrete the secretin. So secretin is going to be released by the cells of the small intestine when acidic chyme is going to enter into the duodenum. Secretin produced by the duodenum is carried through the circulatory system to the liver, and it stimulates the duct cells in the liver to release bicarbonate into the bile. So when chyme is going to enter into the duodenum, intestinal wall is secreting this hormone secretin. Secretin is going to go into the bloodstream. Bloodstream is going to circulate this hormone, is taking to secretin to the liver cells, and then liver cells are releasing bicarbonate into the bile. Functions of liver. Liver is a very important organ or endocrine gland in our body. It's going to perform number of functions. It is having the role in the digestion, it is having role in the excretion, it is also the storehouse of many chemicals and compounds, plus it is going to process different nutrients. It is also going to synthesize many new molecules. plus it is also going to detoxify harmful chemicals. So role of liver in the storage first. Hepatocytes. Hepato mean liver. Cytes mean cells. This means cells of the liver. They can remove sugar from the blood. They are changing the sugar into glycogen and then they are going to store it in the liver cell. So whenever we are having extra sugar in the blood, that is going to be changed into glycogen and is going to be stored in the liver, right? This is the first storage function of the liver. Liver is also going to store fats, vitamin A, B12, D, E and K. It is also going to store copper and iron. This storage function is very short term, and amount of stored material in the hepatocyte is going to vary, so that's why the size of the hepatocyte they keep on changing during a given day. Sometimes it is going to become, cells become big, sometimes they are going to become small. Metabolic role of liver. Metabolism of glucose occurs in the liver. Whenever needed, glucose is obtained by the hydrolysis of glycogen, known as glycogenolysis. So whenever we are having less glucose in the blood, in that case, glycogen, which is already stored in the liver, that is changed into the sugar or the glucose, and then liver is sending the glucose back into the blood. So this process is known as glycogenolysis. Second role in the metabolism is glucose also synthesized. Glucose can also be synthesized from the amino acid or fatty acid and glycerol. This is known as glyconeogenesis. Right? When liver is not having the glycogen, right? So in that case, fatty acids can be metabolized to make the glucose molecule. Third metabolic function is the denaturation of fatty acids and phosphorylation of fats in the liver cells. Next role is if amino acids they are more in quantity, their deamination is going to occur, and after deamination they are changed into pyruvic acid and ammonia. Pyruvic acid is the byproduct of glycolysis even. So these pyruvic acid molecule can be utilized to make the ATP molecules which can provide us energy. Ammonia produced by the deamination of the amino acid in the hepatic cell is converted into urea. This whole conversion is going to be done in the form of a cycle. This cycle is it consists of a series of reactions, and this cycle is known as ornithine-arginine cycle. And as a result of this metabolic series of reaction, ammonia is changed into urea. Then role in the synthesis. Liver is participating to synthesize many important and useful molecules for the human body. Liver cells are going to synthesize vitamin A from the carotene, plus it is also going to synthesize albumin protein from the amino acid, plus it is making very important blood proteins like prothrombin and fibrinogen. These are the blood clotting protein. And then another role is the you can say that phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is also going to occur in the liver. Phagocytosis means some cells which are not required by the body of animal, like RBCs, when they become mature, they have completed their lifespan. Those red blood cells, they are going to be enclosed within the liver cells by phagocytosis, and then they are going to be broken down or digested by the liver cells. This whole process is known as phagocytosis. Phago means eating and cytosis means cell. So it means cellular eating, okay. So this is the cellular eating of one example of phagocytosis is the eating of RBCs by the hepatocytes. Okay, then the last function is the bilirubins and biliverdin, which are the two breakdown compound of hemoglobin. They are also going to be produced by the liver after breaking the hemoglobin. Liver is also going to produce heparin, which is an enzyme that prevents